so
God,
much
he
CC
lives.
stuck inside of Mezusa's ulti, and Red having to use the ultimate to try and keep the team away right now. Jeff God Gamer taking amazingly low, kill picked up by Ray over the backline there. Bob Joseph and Ultravox taken very low. The first person to fall will be Bill the Pony. No, it's Leaves. Immediately followed. Bob Joseph stuck way too far forward. Down the 3 members of TDE in the middle of the fight right now. Jeff God Gamer running to the backline. Mezusa going a grouping on the side of TDE as they do find the engage onto Jeff God Gamer. Bill the Pony the first to fall from Mezusa. Jeff God Gamer barely kiting back, barely staying alive. This shield bow healing is enough to keep that Vayne in check as the inhib is taken very low. Bob Joseph with the backline play to pick up the kill on the Vayne, and now everything starts to turn backwards right now for UB. Civillock trying to slither out of this play. Red caught in the middle of 3.
Wow.
And that is the fight turned. There's no smite available right now on the side of UB as they are trying to find the re-engage onto Red. Look at how TDE have taken this fight. Jeff God Gamer trying to kite back as effectively as possible. Has been CC'd up, has been taken down into the resurrection there of the GA. 1v4, tries to flash away, sends in. That Leaves is able to escape and now jump onto Red, who's trying to deal with Mezusa right now. The egg is popped. It is low health bars for TDE. Utility Monster goes in, finds the kill. 1,000 gold shuts down, put onto Vel'Koz as now they try to kite backward. Welcome back, everyone, to our final match of the day. We have Pandas with Hats against New Wave Tsunami, 2 teams that are currently sitting on the break line. Obviously, we have about a half a season ahead of us, but they're both sitting in that final playoff position right now. This is going to decide who gets that first point moving forward to that 6th and final playoff position. My name is Escape. I'm once again joined by a slightly more sleepy Brendan.
I'm back. What's up, guys?
Having a rough one at the moment. Now, Pandas with Hats. Team I talked about previously in our last game, which was a banger. Anybody who missed that one, definitely worth looking at, definitely going to be talked about for a little bit as it is important for standings. But Pandas with Hats is a team that was criminally maybe underrated coming into the season. They've had some very good success. They started off, I believe, they had a 1-1. They had some really early wins. They've had a very decent showing in all of their games that they've shown up to. And New Wave Tsunami, who's suddenly had this rebirth, this new move where they've had a lot more power, just with Swifty and Valiancy coming in. Sunny moved to the mid lane. So these 2 teams are both stepping up from where we've seen them previously, and I'm excited for their second showing.
Yeah, it's actually interesting the trajectories that these 2 teams had when it came to qualifiers. A lot of people were really out with Pandas with Hats, saying that they were going to be one of the teams that are immediately going to be out just from the beginning. And they're actually here, and they were one of the first teams to qualify for, I think it was Group B, actually. And New Wave Tsunami was a team in qualifiers that everyone in the staff thought was going to get out immediately. And they actually got down to the very last showing with Wash and squeaked in by winning the best of 3.
Yeah, no, and it was a tense best of 3. It definitely wasn't relaxed for anybody involved. Banning phase has been a little bit relaxed so far. Fiora, Camille, Zeri, Jinx, Zareth, and Hecarim taken off the table. It is going to be a Volibear lock-in for between Dr. Schmeckles and Think That I Can. That is a pick that is very dear to my heart, very dear to my experience with FOF. Obviously, it's a great flex pick. First roundable, maybe a little bit of an asterisk on that, but it is going to be what Pandas go with.
So tell me, Escape, what do you think the win rate is on Volibear and FOF?
Okay, I have to imagine. I imagine you have it in front of you. It doesn't strike me as having that good of a win rate at the moment. I might be wrong about that as we do that. Misfortune hovered and last second locked in there for reset.
It's actually 2/3. 66%.
Really? Okay, so in my mind, wow. In my mind, actually, Volibear's been a little bit insuccessful, but obviously it's a very good option. Has those great engages, makes the tower diving easier. Keep it simple, stupid. It's a great option for making sure that you have everything you need right in front of you at all times. Volibear has a very dense kit. Misfortune picked up on the other side for Give Me a Reset. Champion that's fallen out of favor. She wasn't really hit by nerfs or anything. We saw her really explode at last season's Worlds. And then has kind of fallen out of favor since then, just with meta shifts and how the game is now played. But Misfortune still packs a lot of power in that laning phase, and going into the later stages with those ultimates. The Trundle makes it through into Swifty's hands.
Yeah, I think Misfortune is unfortunately just kind of a champion that isn't really good into the meta AD carries. I don't really think that Misfortune's really good into Jinx, because Jinx can just get a reset and run out. Jinx was banned. Jinx and the Zeri, same thing with Zeri. Zeri can also just move out. Lucian again can also move out. I guess Misfortune's good into Caitlyn. I don't really know that matchup specifically that well, but...
Ooh, you talked about Lucian.
There Lucian, it is. Let's go, my boy! Let's go. The reason, the Lucian Nami. I want to see if Subarashi actually goes for the Electrocute Lucian instead of the Airy Lucian. And I personally prefer that just because I like being hyper aggressive in the lane. But I actually think the win rate is a lot higher when it comes to Airy Nami in this Lucian lane. We're seeing. Well, this is actually crazy. Okay, Escape. All right. So the most picked champion FOF is what? Do you know?
Jinx.
It's Jinx. What is second?
I have to imagine it's Nautilus by the way you set this one up.
It's Volibear. And third is Nautilus.
Gotcha. Now, okay, so Nautilus is a good option. I think we had it talked about. I want to blame this one on Sunrise, maybe? On the lounge, we had it come up that there's a lot of enchanters in the meta at the moment right now. And though Nautilus is not very good in those tank-on-tank matchups, if you're picking it to counterpick, something like a Lulu, something like a Nami, something like a Soraka, does have a lot of agency in lane. Misfortune, another champion that has a lot of power during those laning phases. Hubes has lost the Cassiopeia. When I think Hubes, personally, I like to think of Corki. That's something that we've seen them play very, very effectively. Several times we've seen it on Dr. Schmeckles' live streams. If anybody has been able to catch those, they've shown some scrimming on there. Hubes is very, very confident on that Corki. I wouldn't be surprised to see that one get banned away as well. It's just the Cassiopeia thus far. Maybe New Wave think that they're going to pick it up here.
Hubes is, of course, an FOF veteran. I believe he played in Season 1. I think that he is friends with Koshi, if I'm not mistaken. If you know the almighty Emperor, of course, that means you are goated, honestly. But as you said, I think that he's really good into the Corki, and I would actually really like to see him play Corki if he gets left open. And another Jet stat for you, Escape. Pandas with Hats has the head-to-head record on NWT, so if NWT loses here, their playoff chances drastically decreases.
Yes, and two teams fighting for not the bottom of the table, but for that bottom slot. Obviously, there's still lots of room for teams to shift around right now. We're just at the halfway point of the season. This is where teams have room to really come into their own and start to secure themselves those playoff spots as we go later and later into the season. But like you say, if you're dealing with that head-to-head issue, you cannot afford to be tied as these two teams are right now going for their second part of this double round robin. They come out like this and Pandas with Hats has that head-to-head. Big problem. No chance for a tiebreaker for New Wave Tsunami, so this is a very important game, like you say, for them to try and pick things up. That Singed finally being taken away from Valiancy, which is interesting. They're putting a lot of focus on this top laner. 4 bans taken away, and then as the Yone picked up. There was a small Yone hover there on the bans there for Pandas with Hats. They decided to switch it to Singed, and now it is the Yone picked up instead.
I'm interested in this one. I think that's going to slide into the mid lane. Unfortunately, I know Sunny is a huge Vex player, but of course Vex has been unfortunately disabled because of the nerfs. I mean, excuse me, not the nerfs, the bugs that are currently going on with her. And I think Yone is pretty bad in Illusion, to be honest with you, but I guess she's really confident with that pick.
Yeah, there's that Vel'Koz potentially getting picked up there for Hubes. Another very strong artillery backline option. We saw it played relatively effectively in our previous game by Civillock. So this is a more mobile team looking at the Pandas has drafted. But Hubes does a really good job of making whatever work based on what his team has drafted. So I'm less concerned about that for Hubes to try and make this one work. He's very, very good at making these champions fit into the composition. Malphite for Schmeckles.
Finally, they've released the rock-hard champion, the Dr. Schmeckles, the MVP of PWH. The MVP of the league, actually, is going to play.
Yeah, is he going to be able to lock it in? It is going to be picked up there. That Malphite is going to make this team very, very high pace. You cannot afford to miss position. That Misfortune ult needs to be taken in a safe position. The Yone ulti needs to hit effectively because there's going to be a lot of unstoppable force getting launched in there from Dr. Schmeckles, and think that I can on those two very tanky, very strong engaging champions, and a lot of damage to back up this Pandas with Hats composition. As New Wave Tsunami leaving it to the very last moment, try and figure out what they want to put into this top lane. That Malphite, you kind of have to go for something in the AP, otherwise that Malphite's going to have a very free lane. Does Valiancy have the option? It's going to be the Ornn. Try and go for the outscaling option. It is interesting. I think both these teams have a lot of teamfight potential. New Wave Tsunami has drafted themselves a very difficult comp to make work, though.
Yeah, actually, I think that what we really need to watch out for is this bot lane. You know, if you can get this Lucian and this Nami ahead, which has really been one of the bright spots of PWH, is Volti Penguin, and Subarashi especially has been pretty good as a support player. If you can get them ahead, I think that it's really, really important for the side of PWH. While New Wave Tsunami, I think, is trying to go for this teamfight style of comp with Misfortune and the Yone and the Ornn. So I really need to see PWH get this bot lane ahead. And if I was betting, I think I actually would bet on NWT's comp.
Yeah, there's definitely room for both of these teams to get some stuff done, as we do have, I don't know if we can quite hop into game. There was a little bit of delay coming into this one. Obviously, we do have a little bit of delayed time, gives you a little bit of time to check out the magazine. FOF Connect gets updated once every Monday, and there's a lot of fun stuff that the team puts in. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it. And this week we have an interview with Joshi, so I think it's definitely worth having a read.
Wait,
read
you
on
mean
this one.
Joshi? The LOL Academy caster Joshi?
I do mean
Joshi
the
is in
LOL Academy
Josh?
caster.
Joshi? Josh?
I do. He's got some
Wow.
interesting thoughts on the place of the league right now and where he thinks teams are going to be going. So, you have some time to still check that one out. Like you said, that Sunny hard call out going to be on that Yone in the mid lane. Now, she has said previously that she wants to be on some more aggressive options. I think we saw that in the hype video against Wash. They were unable to win that game against Wash. It was very hard fought. Sunny actually had a really good showing on the Galio. Here we see more aggressive on that Yone, and it's a very interesting option to try and deal with that Vel'Koz, who's generally very isolated in that mid lane, very unable to move, and Yone can punish that.
So I actually really like that by Volibear. Something that I always critique, especially when I'm casting, is that I think a lot of junglers do nothing in the early stages of the game. They drop this ward and you get this huge coverage. You're going to know where Swifty starts, what buff he starts now, because you got this. You get a ward down on the buff, on Raptors, or one of these things, and you get to see where this path is going to start. You switch it to a red buff, of course. And I think this, all right, this is really good. I think that Aken, who is probably the best, actually no, easily the best performing player on PWH, unless you're talking about the rock card Dr. Schmex. He's going to start on this blue side, path down towards this really volatile bot lane that you need to get ahead.
Yeah. No, there's definitely room for Voltaic Penguin and Subarashi to try and get some things done. I have been, like you say, Think That I Can has had a great showing. Admittedly, Dr. Schmeckles actually has had a pretty solid showing given the circumstances that you have in that top lane. Hubes also has been a big performer. The bot lane has been the weak point for Pandas. And I don't know if that's an opinion that you share with me, Brendan. I know that there are a few people that agree. This is the place that really needs to step up. And like you're saying, this is a chance for them to try and make this game as good as they can. They try and get it going as best as possible. Maybe that this is going to be their chance to shine for the first time. As we do see this quick 3-camp clear coming up from Swifty, we will see some pressure in the spot lane very early.
I think Subarashi, the support player for PWH, is pretty solid. I think that, unfortunately, Voltaic Penguin has had some shaky starts, shaky games, unfortunately. But I think Subarashi is actually one of the topper supports in the league. That's not a word.
The like higher performing.
Higher. Josh is gonna. Utility Monster is gonna make sure I hear about that. But yeah, the one of the higher performing supports in the league at the moment.
Yeah, we do see Swifty making his way to that mid lane right now. There's a little bit of push up right now from Hubes. Does have that Ghost and that Flash available right now. Sunny has the Q charged up. There will be an engage onto that flashing coming out from Hubes there. The Ghost is also burned. That will be the end of that engage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Dr. Schmeckles at that level disadvantage, trying to fight with Valiancy. Taken down to just above 200 HP. That Corrupting Potion is ticking, but it's not able to keep Dr. Schmeckles in a comfortable position. That level deficit getting punished.
Did you just see that ego play by Dr. Schmeckles, standing, hitting S key, canceling the auto, and looking at Valiancy, saying that your attacks mean nothing to me? Good dodge out by Lucian right there with the Relentless Pursuit.
Yeah, and okay, so active play from Swifty so far. Trying to get onto that map. It just went for that quick 3-camp clear, doesn't grab anything else, and was going for 2 ganks, grabs that flash in the mid lane, isn't able to find anything on bot lane. Ollie, unfortunately, not connecting that hook. But you know, showing on the map, getting that pressure, those camps are still going to be available. Going to be a little bit later on the timer. Think That I Can, on the other hand, has gone for a full clear, and is now sneaking into this bot lane. Has gotten to that center brush, and there's a lot of room for an engage right now. There's flash available, I think. The Think That I Can, yes, can get into that bush completely unseen. Ollie, do you have any idea that the bears are lurking in the edge of the jungle right now? Living in Canada, they tell you to look out for those bad boys because they are terrifying. And speaking of terrifying right now, this trade from Valiancy, the flash gets burnt, doesn't quite grab the solo kill as the flash away from Schmeckles keeps him alive up in that top lane. That Corrupting Potion is still ticking. The Biscuit coming online. Now, looking at this build from Malphite, Biscuits, Corrupting Potions, a lot of sustain on board. Not really the normal, per se, setup. Oh, there's no flash ability here from Schmeckles, who will just go down to Valiancy. The solo kill is found, and that is the first blood.
It's okay. Dr. Schmeckles usually gives away the solo kills because he thinks that his gold is actually irrelevant to the team. I mean, not ironically, by the way. Like, it's really not the worst thing that Malphite is going to be getting, beat around, because it's Malphite. You expect Malphite to be behind, especially against Auron, who Auron is literally just an assassin tank bruiser, whatever you are, unless your name's not Senna. We're seeing like tiny little, just little smacking, little win shuriken things.
Yeah. No, it's worth noting though that top lane is a big part of that gold deficit already. Probably down nearly, starting to get near that 700 gold range right now with that first blood picked up solo and the large CS deficit right now. Definitely favoring Valiancy in this top lane. We've seen Valiancy on a lot of carry picks since they were introduced to the league. Probably about the midway point, I think that's probably fair, swapping out Hyakkimaru, and has had a decent showing since then. This is the first time we've seen Valiancy on a big tank pick, to my knowledge. Might be wrong on that. Somebody please correct me in chat if I am wrong. But, you know, it's looking solid right now versus Schmeckles. Did you think that I can maybe try to set up for a gank on Sunny? Here it comes. The flash is available right now from this Volibear. Flash knock up. What an escape there from Sunny. And now Swifty finding the engage on Schmeckles. The ultimate has been popped from Valiancy, popped up into the air as that Malphite, and pop goes the rock.
Yeah, actually just really smart by Valiancy. I believe it's Valiancy to tell this jungler that, of course, that Malphite does not have his flash. Easy gank right there, unfortunately, because Malphite at this stage of the game is just not tanky enough, especially with the current build that he's going. It's the sustain build and the mana, as you said.
Yep, just trying to set yourself up for later. Like you say, Malphite, you're kind of ready for Malphite to be behind. Just part of what's going on. Not too much you can do about it. Instead, though, play set up. The dragon is picked up. This is the first one picked up. Now, we talk about we talk about souls a lot, really, on this broadcast. We don't spend much time talking about the individual dragons because quite often they're not super valuable. The first two solo dragons that are going to come up that are not going to be involved in that soul map is going to be Hextech and Infernal. My opinion, two of the highest value individual dragons.
Did you actually know, Mr. Escape, that the lowest win rate soul and solo queue is actually Infernal Drake?
Really? That's actually kind of shocking to me.
Yeah,
that seems
from
like
what I've heard.
Huh.
If I'm incorrect, you must blame LCS, not me.
Not okay, so LCS, not you. Okay, so that's good. Just go to other broadcasts, blame them for the issues right now. Dr. Schmeckles just chatting this play up right now, just getting Valiancy off that wave. Of course, wave is going to start to crash into Valiancy. Shouldn't miss out on too much of that CS in mid lanes. We've seen kind of a lack of pressure. We had seen the ultimate burnt. Sunny was trying to get the tower dive down. She is trying to play aggressive into this Vel'Koz, but
nice
sidestep there. Oh, they are setting up several in the mid lane. The flash is not up yet, but the ghost is Cubes making the correct play to try and get out there. There's two slows coming down. Swifty unable to get involved with the play. That low-level Trundle, and a great escape there from Hubes.
Dude, Vel'Koz has the funniest ghost animation I've ever seen. What?
There's the sprinting animation where he noodles away.
Yeah, the little noodles away. Like, he looks like he's from Monsters, Inc. You know, the one character, I'm forgetting its name. As we're just beating down Noodle Fight right now. Dr. Schmex.
Ooh, hold on. The hook does connect in the mid lane there. Hubes has been ignited and getting taken away. There was a very good trade on the Sunny. Probably grabbed that hook on the ultimate there. Channeled from Hubes. Think that I can. Waiting in the wings. The Predator is available. Maybe trying to contest Swifty on this red buff. Has not hit level 6 on that. Trundle, now it comes through. That is a lot of Trundle's dueling power online.
That was actually great restraint right
there. In Valiancy. Valiancy has the ult available right now. Schmeckles taken down to 200 HP. Now Valiancy trying to walk away from this one, trying to save time, trying to get the jungler in there. Swifty here at the final moment, but we'll just see the rock waddling away right now. And I don't think there's going to be any way for Swifty to get in and get a revenge kill right now. That is the first kill picked up in that top lane. It's going to go on to think that I can.
So you're talking about this bot lane you thought was one of the weakest parts of PWH at the moment. They're requiring a decent they're gapping a bit. They're getting about a 20 CS I think difference at the moment. I want to see if they can get a kill. If you could not, of course, I think 20 CS is accumulating to roughly around a kill, right? So I like to see that one for the KDA, just for the ego points, and of course you want to be as good as you possibly can when it comes to the KDA leaderboards.
Yeah, no, KDA leaderboards are definitely a big thing that gets focused on. A lot of these players want to be on the top of that one. I know that when I have felt my proudest has been when I've been at the top of that board. Haven't been there for a little bit, though, but that seems like it hasn't been too long since Think That I Can was in the mid lane right now as the engage comes back down onto Sunny. Has used that E to escape and will be returned to Hubes' waiting hands. There's the knock-up setup. There's the kill. Hubes picks up the gank-assisted kill in the mid lane.
But smart. A lot of players just for some reason just run after the Ghost Yone. These players are usually my solo queue teammates instead of just killing them. But you know, since you talk about the most proud that you've been when you were at the top of the KDA leaderboards, the most proud I've ever been was when I had 0 FFs in tournament, and then I was gone within the first week.
Yes. No, you were also having a quick conversation with me about whether or not you thought that I would ever be able to beat you in a laning phase, and you said with 100% confidence that that would never happen.
That's correct, and I stand by that.
Important to note, though, never again should have been the correct wording for that one.
You did not beat me in that game. Wait, hold on. Wait,
I
you beat my team.
I am 1-0. I am 1-0 on you on tournament.
Yeah, wait. You didn't beat me in lane phase. I solo queued you like twice.
Nah, not that I remember.
I was Vayne spotting. I went 1v5 just to kill you. What are you talking about? I literally specifically remember I ran past your team just to kill you.
I think I struck
and then we lost.
I think I struck a chord there. I don't know.
Right, okay. Well, earlier Anti, by the way, we were in public, he told me, he actually triggered me and told me that my superhero, my childhood hero, who I looked up to, Zabu, has died. The lemur.
No, not Zabu. Hold on, there might be a little bit of a similar fate meeting right now for Thing That I Can, who did get engaged on Ollie, did find that hook, but there was no ultimate popped out of that Nautilus right now. Reset, returning to that bot lane as this Dragon setup is getting quite fierce.
Oh, there you go, nice.
4 people coming to the bot side. The Flash has to get burnt out of Reset. However, still has that Misfortune ultimate available. If they can get them close to the walls, Misfortune can safely deal a lot of damage. Speaking of dealing damage over walls right there, Hubes chunking down Swifty. There's that bullet time. Is it able to finish anybody off? No, does get half health bars though, as the full 5 have made it to the bot lane for both teams. Schmeckel over the wall, has that flash ability. There's a chunky ultimate waiting right now. Does Dr. Schmeckel see it? Will he have the surgical precision? Looks like he will. 3 found. 5 to go down. Voltaic Penguin getting flashed in by Valley C. The huge follow-up ultimate from the Punisher. That is Dr. Schmeckles. Turns this fight around. Swifty getting taken so low. Sunny in the middle of 2. Trying to take down anybody that is available. Swifty walking away with a sliver of HP, but it looks like Sunny will fall. This dragon fight was explosive. Ultimates trading back and forth, but it is Dr. Schmeckles that turns it for Pandas. Talk to me, Brendan. Tell me what you saw. Give me some analysis.
Right here, we see actually a really good scoop by Sunny. Really good flank. Of course, this is out of vision, so they cannot dodge this. Scoops out 3 people, smacks down this fish, jumps out, and the good peel back by the entire team of PWH. They pull out this Punisher right here. He smacks down 3 people. 16-inch Punisher. Dr. Schmecks with the re-engage. Actually really good. And then Volty Penguin with some... There we go. Nice. Okay. Did you kill? Yeah, we kill him. Sorry, I wasn't able to look at this part because I was watching my co-caster making me laugh. We get the kill down, and do they get this dragon? I don't even think. I'm so out of place. I can't believe you called him the Punisher, dude. I can't believe this. I can't believe what's happening.
That is what we know of Dr. Schmeckles, is making those big plays and just having, massive influence. That's what I think of when I think Dr. Schmeckles is just the overarching size that he has over these games. is really just in control. Like we talk about the laning phases, he's generally really weak there, right? We've seen that before. And that's not surprising. We saw that again in this game. Is holding there's a little bit of an engage. Swifty got way out of position. I thought that was just going to naturally reset, give you some room to talk about how Dr. Schmeckles is able to influence these mid games really effectively, but instead, Swifty decides to give an extra kill over. I don't know, but Pandas with Hats is starting to snowball this mid game into their favor. And here we go. Dragon picked up. That's point number 2, going towards an Ocean Soul, which is a very powerful soul, especially with a Nami on your team. Not to mention, Dr. Schmeckles now caught in a little bit of 1v1 on the top side, is trying to just get away from Valiance. He does not have that ult available, does still have Flash online. That will be the end of the trade. Schmeckles trying to make it up to that top lane wave, get some CS.
Has really just been beating on this poor 16-inch Punisher right now. I think he's really being relentless towards the man that is Dr. Schmeckles at the moment. But as we talked about earlier, Dr. Schmeckles is fine with being from behind most people. It's okay if you're Malphite. I think that the ability to come back into the game is really important.
Yeah, I think that laning phase as a whole, this game has kind of been neglected. There is some very stunningly low CSs on a lot of these players. And that has been in favor of trying to get map pressure right now. Is Ollie looking for a play in the mid lane. The Flash is burnt there from Hubes, getting away from that hook. But nobody has really laned to the fullest right now. I think that the only person that might be looking at that right now is Voltaic Penguin, sitting on that 3-0, 100 CS right now at the 14-minute mark. Is looking quite strong in that Lucian. And has been able to severely gap reset who has been a pretty consistent performer, has been a very strong player, and was a big key in this team's second win being on the undefeated at the time UB, and that is the only scratch on their perfect record at the moment. Give Me a Reset has had some good showings. Right now, getting taken out by Voltaic Penguin and Subarashi in that bot lane. We need to see that MF do a little bit more as we go later. First item still not finished, and Lucian is starting to run away with that lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, players that are, you know, lower in the rank ladder, one of the problems they do struggle with is keeping up with CS with people that are, you know, slightly higher than them. And I think it's just because of the, you know, the experience of, you know, playing the game for much longer. You know, you start learning like wave management and these kind of things. And Dr. Speckles, like, if he learns wave management, I think he's gonna be 10 times better, and he's gonna be level to a 24-inch Punisher probably within the season.
Oh yeah, no, like the genuinely, you know, Speckles has been a big talking point this whole season. There's a little bit of engagement from Valiancy, because he's able to do things that just don't make sense sometimes, and then other times does things that just don't make sense.
Yeah, like Jaffe,
you know, small improvements available. The huge ulti there from Sunny in onto Hubes, taken very low. Will not burn down that ignite though. And now engaging on Think That I Can right now. Swifty taking that life form disintegration rate, does not fall to the final turret shot though. Looks like it's just going to be cooldowns trade in the mid lane. A little bit of health bars going back and forth as well.
That was actually an insane amount of true damage right there on Vel'Koz. My goodness. But so far, Sunny, by the way, her scoops have been really incredible.
Very good, yeah.
She's getting very, very close to killing these people every single time. Wait, is someone just sitting AFK? All right, Give Me a Reset is currently talking to his girlfriend right now. We don't know what's happening. We're gonna leave the game for the disrespect. Actually, reconnect for the disrespect. He's saying you can't kill me. I'm literally sitting AFK, and now it's going to be a fight here.
Oh, Voltaic Penguin already taken so low. The bullet time does enough damage, but they can't actually find Voltaic Penguin. The Nami keeping him alive right there. The disconnect and re-FOF connect coming through there from Reset. Not enough to find the damage. Was just quickly checking on that magazine update, potentially seeing whether or not there was anything worth looking at. I think that there was. It does come back to game and cannot find the kill.
Speaking of the FOF Connect magazine, we're on just 6 at the moment, and I think that personally we should add in a Brennan stat, which is who has the most certain energy that's coming out. We're see some smacking down.
And we talk about how easy it is to dive with that Volley Bear. Voltaic Penguin will go down for the first time this game. 650 gold going over to Give Me a Reset. That turret is fully charged. Think That I Can. Can you escape from this? Yes, he does. The Nami healing comes through. The trade back on the shutdown is the best that they could do on the side of NWT. Pandas with hats. Looking very strong at the moment. Right now, Valiancy trying to do something on the other side of the map right now. Try and get Schmeckles off that wave to the best of the ability. These teams are playing very slow, very focused on this scaling. I'm really waiting for this game to just kind of explode open and turn into, you know, one team running around the map, or whether it's objective control, whatever it is. And maybe that'll come at this Dragon right now, 45 seconds away from a soul point potential for Pandas.
We're going to do a little mythic check right now. And Give Me a Reset is actually going for lethality, I believe, in Misfortune. I think that they are building Eclipse. And usually when you go to PTA with the rune, I believe that you're supposed to go on the Kraken. I'm not really familiar if you go the Eclipse with the PTA as well.
Yeah,
it's just see if she decides, or excuse me, they decide to finish into this crit build, or just go lean heavily into lethality.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Obviously, the Eclipse is done right now. There's the attack speed boots, which is kind of odd.
Yeah,
Generally,
it's usually
MF is
for
more
a crit thing as well.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm interested to see where this build goes. Where this team fight goes a little bit right now. So Voltaic Penguin deciding that could just chunk out the team right now. Ollie getting brought down almost instantly right there. Nothing that Ollie can do to try and get this Pandas with Hat squad off of their Dragon. They want this soul point if they can get it.
And culling right now during this portion of the game is incredibly strong, especially with the Sheen procs and all these kind of things. So using culling an aggressive stance, you saw how much damage that it just did. Especially with Nami, the slow on the E applied, the bubbles.
Yeah.
You really need to use culling in these aggressive things, and I think this Lucian so far, I think it's the best we've seen Voltaic Penguin perform.
Yeah, no, looking very comfortable here. I don't know what has changed, whether it's the practice on the champion, whether it's the confidence in this game. Maybe just deciding that that bot lane wasn't really a problem. Reset, unable to do anything to slow down this Lucian. You were saying it's going to be a very controlling pick if it gets ahead. Well, it is very far ahead now, and they need to start making plays. Swifty trying to make them around the Raptors right now. We'll see who gets the smite off there. No, we won't. We will go over to Dr. Schmeckles right now. He's trying to get a play onto Sunny right now. There's no flash available right now on that Yone. ultimate does get burned. They're CCing Schmeckles up so hard, it's only the flash to come out. And look at this choke point. Look at that bullet time. Subarashi brought really low. Look at Hubes with the flank, though. We'll take Penguin does go down. 2 Valiancy, Subarashi to follow. It is 4v2 at the moment, and Think That I Can is trying to swing it back the other way. Hubes brought very low. Give me a reset, deciding to turn face and go for this Volibear. Think That I Can, with almost no way to make it out of here at all, will get hooked up and will get taken down. Shut down for Valiancy.
I know NWT had some few coaching sessions with Joshi, the master of choke points himself, and right there they finally utilized the fact that you can use these choke points, especially with this team comp with Trundle making its own choke points and Misfortune that really punishes choke points. Really smart by them. You know, Sunny was stalling forever right there. We're going to see Valiancy get this huge wave top 2, and they're going to get vision control over this. I think this is Baron that's coming up right now. Yeah, it's Baron.
Yeah, no, it is going to be Baron online. There is that Herald sitting in the pocket right now, Swifty. There's going to be room for that to turn into something big. You know, we've talked about how this game looks very favored to Pandas at the moment.
Yeah.
4-0 Vel'Koz, 4-2 on the Volibear. I blanked there. 4-2 on the Lucian as well. Actually, they have identical scores. I didn't even log into that one. But even though that's the case, this gold lead is very narrowly split between these two at the moment, and it's showing those team fights looked very comfortable right now. There's a huge Ornn now on the side of NWT. Valiancy been very successful in these fights, picked up a lot of those kills, and that will be very difficult to take down. Lucian, you know, Kraken Slayer's going to help, but it's still going to be challenging to bring that Ornn to his knees at the moment, and it's going to be whether or not the entirety of the team can start to, you know, lay down on that one. Sunny and Dr. Schmeckles right now have these teleports available, and they're sitting opposite to this play right now. There are 4 people stacked up around this Baron right now, and the poke begins from Hubes. This is what we see Hubes play a lot of the time. It's just these artillery mages sit in the backline, get this poke available as much as possible. Sunny taking a quick trade here with Dr. Schmeckles will get away the best of his ability, but it looks like maybe Pandas is starting to make a play for Baron.
That's really smart by PWH. They see that their dragon, because right now they have 3 dragons. The only thing they really care about is being there for that dragon. They go to this top, and they go to... Oh, this is actually so good on PWH. I'm actually really impressed.
Wow.
They go to top, they force NWT to go and force them. They go down, and they take the Baron control and go into mid, because NWT has to rotate behind them. Very good macro by PWH there.
Dude, I'm so impressed. These teams are getting so much better. Here it is, Ollie trying to go for a play in a bull.
Look
at the setup! Reset! Massive bullet time over the top, and they instantly wipe the fight. Sunny with the ultimate, Reset with the ultimate, and looks like Hubes will be the next to go down. They found that kill in a Voltaic Bang. Reset gets popped. Hubes gets away. Think That I Can still with a sliver of HP, able to survive that.
Oh my gosh!
They can't. Hubes turns the fight. Triple kill for the Vel'Koz. Try and take me through that one more time, Brendan.
I actually cannot believe this. Right now, Ollie with the great ulti that knocks up for the setup for Sunny on the side. She's getting this Q2 over here. She's going to scoop in Volte Penguin. I believe it was Subarashi, and just insta one-shot them with the bullet time. Yeah, here it comes. Going to scoop them, bullet time, smack him. Volibear ults over this tower to ult it, and then really good by Think That I Can Hubes here. This is a problem a lot of teams have, is that they're realizing that Hubes is the character 1, and Think That I Can is just sitting on them, peeling for them. They're stalling for so long here. Volibear is just beating them down, and I can't believe he killed both of them. Wow.
How did Hubes do it? How did Hubes do it? Meanwhile, in this top lane, there is that Rift Herald charging in. Potential for an inhibitor. Keep in mind that that fight was that close with a numbers disadvantage for the side of Pandas with Hats right now. They're not missing those numbers at the moment. Dr. Schmeckles falling down. It's just Subarashi here to defend this in him. I don't think this is a good trade right now. If you're PWH, you just have to drop it. No, they don't. Grab the inhibitor, deciding to back away with Voltaic's Penguin spawning. And you know what? At the end of the day, maybe that's not too bad.
I'm a bit interested why they decided to back off. Maybe because they thought the death timers were really low. Let me just give them the benefit of the doubt here. I think Swifties should be taking this Gromp and going for this Rift. Not the Rift, the Scuttle. Why do I always call that Rift?
Well, you're greeting then. You're greeting then. You cannot stay on that top side of the map right now if you're that Trundle. There is 40 seconds left
Dragon is up.
on this Dragon. Swifty making the right call and recalling there. Trying to get set up for this one. This is a sole point for the side of Pandas. And though, had a little bit of a back and forth fight there. They lost a fair bit in their top side to that Rift Herald play. Very, very proactive there from NWT. This is where they can really win or lose it right here, is on this team fight. So much damage on the Valiancy. Well, you know, when you consider how much was used, maybe not actually that much damage on the Valiancy right now. Only down half HP right now in this Ornn. Gonna try and regen some of that one up. He's going to continue to eat this poke.
I
But
sure they didn't walk
that's
to the choke
ultimate,
point. Oh.
ultimate burn. There's the hook found onto Hubes. The crown is popped, but there's been no damage dealt so far. Sunny on this backline having to use the ultimate to get up, but you have to go back to your E. Sunny, misplay there, gets the Yone caught. Now it is 4v5. As Pandas is going to try and run down the Tsunami on the Valiancy, taking below half HP. There's no way Reset can do it. Schmeckles gets on top of the Misfortune. There goes Ollie. There goes Swifty. This is looking like a clean play from Pandas with hats. They will take Soul, and I imagine they'll walk into Baron right after.
Yeah, they're going to grab the Soul here, and then I think they should push this mid out, and then they're going to go right to Baron. That fight right there was really because Hubes... I mean, PWH was really split right there. Unfortunately, Sunny had that slight misplay, but Hughes refused to allow them to go into the choke point. Something that's really good about Vel'Koz is you force, like, walking into choke points against Vel'Koz is very, very difficult. Of course, Hughes is 1v4 and making sure they didn't walk into the choke point. Really, really good by them. Once they came into this fight, they were half HP because of the fact that Hughes is just so fed right now.
Yeah, and there's a huge Vel'Koz. You couldn't get the kill through Crown. And even though there's no Lifeform Disintegration Ray online for that fight, there's a little bit of a misplay from Sunny on the backside, just popping that ulti to get away, even though you were locked into going straight back, and team could not be there to back her up, and falls down, and as a result, there's no Yone ulti for that fight, there's no Yone either, and New Wave Tsunami lose a little bit of their tidal forces that were getting them back into this game, and now they're on the back foot. It's not a huge back foot, but mentally, it's difficult to try and come back from something like that. We'll see whether or not this team can continue to play this recovery game. Been very behind in the early stages. It's only 5 kills separate, almost 2,000 gold taking these teams apart, but it could be added onto the Baron in a moment here, not to mention that Ocean Soul.
Despite the fact that they got Ocean Soul, NWT, like, you have a team comp where we saw it earlier, where they are going to get these wombos off with the scoop and the bullet time and these kind of things. So I don't think it's completely over. You just got to make sure they cannot completely choke you out of this vision of Baron, and make sure that waves do not get pushed too far into you. I think there's gonna be a slight fight here. This is getting close. Coca-Cola Bears throwing down some lightning, looking at people. Give me a reset. It's gonna get this red buff off. Okay, we're going to
this
top fight.
Big play. Now there are 5 in the top lane right now for Pandas compared to 4. No, it is 4 apiece right now. Is Sunny and Schmeckles once again moving up to that fight at the same time as one another. They haven't seen this Yone yet, hanging out in the wings. Once again, playing around this Baron. This is a double play right now as Valiancy walking forward to try and get this vision down. Actually does successfully make it into that bush without getting CC'd out. Hubes clearing out that top wave. As a result, bit of a successful play. They do see the Yone on the bot side though. Pandas with hats. I'm playing to this vision as well as they can. They are starting to zone off Sunny. I don't know if she knows she's on a ward right now, but she could be in a lot of trouble as a result of it. He's going to just try and get out of there as best as possible. That Scryer's Bloom does come up at a very convenient time for New Wave Tsunami. Could be able to use it to contest this, but it's still on the onus for Pandas to start up this Baron.
I am actually seriously impressed right now with PWH. What you need to do right now is you push these lanes, and you don't want them to fight. You choke out their vision, and eventually someone's going to make a mistake, and it's what's going to happen right now. You don't really want to gauge on the Ornn right now, but you force them to make a decision. Right, you have this mid lane push, you have this bot lane push, and eventually they're going to have to give up this top tower, or they're going to have to give up Baron. It's one of those two. Now, what you're going to get this top tower, and I'm going to go right back to Baron, choke out their vision, and see if they're going to walk into you. Make sure you get this mid push again.
Oh, do they know that the entirety of Pandas the Hats is right there? Ollie sure doesn't. Goes down in an instant. There's the re-engage from Sunny. It hits no one. There was so much room for that to be game-ending. Valiancy pops the ulti as well. They cannot find anything. Clumped up, but Sunny had that flash available, decided not to use it to reposition. She finds no one with the ulti. Valiancy finds no one, and there's no setup for reset. That could have been deadly. Pandas with hats escape with their lives, and they find themselves a Baron.
I am really impressed with PWH's macro and their shot calling at the moment. I really would like to find out who is the shot caller of this team, because I am seriously impressed with how they're performing.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen them play a little bit. I think to an extent, it's Think That I Can in Hubes.
I believe so as well.
I don't know the voices all that well, so maybe I could be completely wrong on that one. I'm definitely down to be corrected if it's need be. But that gold lead off that Baron buff has been built up to the point where, 4K is kind of the point where if you're playing against a solid team, you've got one fight to hold it. And if you drop that fight, you're kind of done until, the super late stages where everyone has already made it back, has all their items in play. I don't imagine that's where this game is headed currently. There's only 2 items finished right now on this Yone. third item, fourth item being worked on right now for Hubes. Vel'Koz is very, very big at the moment, 9-0.
Yeah, this is a fed eyeball. Like, this eyeball is seeing in 20/20 vision all times. He's seeing through your entire team. X-ray vision.
It's like gamma ray vision at this point. It's just burning through everyone in front of him. Like, there's been no safe spot in front of Hubes. And now Pandas with Hats, you talked about their macro. Look at this, going to the bot side. Easy turrets first. Why not? It's 600 gold that you can throw onto your team. That will be the easy pickup. Hubes picking up a couple tower shots there. Now Sunny on the side does have that ult and that flash available. She's unable to find the engage. Her team was not there. Risky play. Pandas, do they know how much they're playing with fire? If Sunny finds the engage, that chains into Valiancy, that chains into reset. They can get blown up in a matter of seconds. I know that there's been some discourse about whether or not, you know, you go lethality or crit MF or whatever it might be. Regardless, lethality MF does shred with her ulti, and she's currently sitting on that level 2 ulti. She can do some hurt.
So what I feel like about PWH right now is I believe I can see the calmness and the shot calling, and Hubes can do so much. Look at that poke, by the way.
Ooh, choke point. Valiancy walking up, trying to find something to get it started. There's the engage. Ollie finds the hook onto Hubes. There's the ultimate from Sunny. It barely misses. The bullet time doesn't. Hubes into Zhonya's. Sunny having to retreat. Schmeckles onto the back line. Does find the misfortune. The Hubes does fall to the Trundle. A double kill picked up right now for Swifty as they're trying to make that fight happen on the back line. Trundle is so good for these situations. Volley Bear does fall, though, and that's going to be more HP on the Swifty, carrying this fight for New Wave Tsunami. Swifty, but the triple kill is picked up for Schmeckles there. It's not going to work out, though. Swifty chasing away from that Elder Dragon. That's going to be Elder picked up for New Wave Tsunami.
Yeah, unfortunately, this fight right here is just a telling about the fact that Hubes, the Death Ray, decides to walk in, doesn't see the foresight of walking in directly in front of their face with some disrespect. Gets hooked by Ollie, great hook by him, and then the scoop right here misses no one, but he gets into the backline and he smacks down, of course, a little bit. Hubes tries to buy time, but he's just gonna die. Dr. Schmeckles just smacking people in these backline. He's like, what's up? What's up? I'm Dr. Schmeckles. 16-inch Punisher, smacking down people, hitting the entire backline. And the Volley Bear is just, he's doing so much damage, but unfortunately he cannot kill them. He's Volley Bear. He's not going to 1v3.
Yeah, but apparently the Malphite can, and that backline picks up so many kills, and it makes this so much less of a devastating play from New Wave Tsunami. They had so much room to do. I don't know. Trundle's pretty strong. Trundle's got a lot of potential here, but it looks like Subarashi is looking for that mid turret. That could actually be a decent play. Now, 10 seconds on the Misfortune respawning. I hope that they're going to save it for her. I have to imagine they're going to try and let some of these respawns come through. Right now, Valiancy taken very low. They do get the objective bounty and the buff onto their Misfortune. They do not get it onto Sunny, unfortunately. She's going to be without that for the next at least 6 minutes. But it's on to reset. And that Wombo combo is still there. I was worried about the difficulty of execution, but it looks like Swifty can just run through the enemy team given the opportunity. Voltaic Penguin could do nothing. Hubes could do nothing. And now, I was saying that they needed to win the next fight in order to bring themselves back in, and New Wave Tsunami does it, and now they're back in a fighting chance.
Yeah, this is right, and they have this Elder Dragon buff, and they need to try to fight this fight now. You know, Elder Dragon is a huge buff when it comes to, you know, team fighting. Obviously, the execution is huge. So I want to see what they can do with it. Are they just going to get this Elder Dragon and just get it off the map, or are they going to try to fight with it?
Yeah, it depends on what they're looking for, you know? This is where Pandas has been winning a lot of this game, I would say, is through those macro decision makings. Is going to be the first turret picked up for Sunny. Doesn't even have that buff online right now. It looks like they're kind of reserving themselves to taking their own jungle right now is NWT. Haven't gotten a push together right yet. You have Elder. Group is 5. Go kill some people. That's what the buff is designed to get you to do. They have all their cooldowns up. They're only missing flashes, but hey, so's the enemy team. Go make something happen. And as this is delayed even more from NWT, the more that their timer runs down, the less pressure they're going to have. Sunny does have that TP online, but Wave gets deleted. Hubes is very happy to do so. Dr. Schmeckles maybe looking for that flanking angle. Is on a ward at the moment. Will they see it coming? Valiancy trying to set up his carries for success at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know the Elder Dragon buff duration. I think it's around 45 seconds.
Can I get a resist check on the Ornn real quick? now that it has all those items finished up. It is 230 apiece at the moment. Not too far into that build right now, but 4.2 thousand HP. That Ornn is going to be so difficult to get through. When you consider LDR has been finished up for the Lucian, maybe it doesn't sound that scary, but you gotta pump quite a few bullets into that Ornn in order to take him down, not to mention Ollie relatively tanking that front line. That Even Shroud, very aggressive option, but I really like that item. There's a flank potential here. Sunny has been looking for this play all night. Is this going to be the time that she finds it? There's the ultimate coming through from the Ornn. Does the knock up? It is! The Wombo combo comes through, but the bullet time wasn't able to come out immediately. Dr. Smack comes trying to cancel it in the background, does play the assassin, does manage to take down the kill, but the Elder Dragon does the rest. And that is a wiped fight for New Wave Tsunami. They come in against the wave, and they're going to take this game.
If you just see on the minimap right here, of course, they do not have this ward on Sunny, who's going to go on this flank right here. She's going to come in right when Ornn sounds his horn, telling them they're going to fight. She comes in with her ghost form, scoops up 3 or 4 members, smacks them with the bullet time. This Wombo finally comes off. Dr. Schmeckle smacks down Misfortune somehow, and the game is just, I think the game is just over here. I think NWT takes this.
I don't see any way that this take takes any more than 40 seconds. I think that this take will probably take 25 seconds, and they have so much extra time to work with. New Wave Tsunami on the back foot. We were talking about the shot calling. Who called that flank? Whose idea was that? That was incredible. And as a result, we've got a Trundle on the Nexus turrets right now. We have a Yone on the Nexus turrets, and we have NWT picking up their 3rd win on the second part of this round robin against the first team to take them down. Pandas with hats will fall down to a solid 7th, and NWT will make their mark on the league.
Yeah, this is really huge for their playoff aspirations. If they lost, this was really, really bad for their future because they would lose the head-to-head to PWH. Now that they are tied, it's really, really big for this win, of course, with the confidence and the flank, by the way, and Sunny. Oh, my goodness. But, of course, NWT is a newer team. You know, they have some new parts. You know, I think Swifty is a newer player. Valency, of course, is a newer player. Sunny, who's particularly, I believe she started as an AD carry player, and then she moved into the mid lane role, and, the jungle role, and now she's playing mid. So this is a new team. Like, they have some time to adjust. Right now they're 3, and I think it's 5, if I'm not mistaken off the top of my head.
Yeah, 3 and 5 now.
They have enough time to make it to the playoffs, actually.
Yeah, no, and we've seen them consistently grow, and I think that's the amazing thing about this team is that they're finally getting all those pieces oiled together, all working in unison, and they were able to hold that game that looked so dreadful at the start. They were able to keep everything together, and luckily for us, we do get to hear from Sunny in a post-game interview with our winning team. Sunny will be there to explain the intensity of that match. Please don't go anywhere.
Hello folks, Chris Hedgeworth here with our final interview tonight, joined by Sunny of the victorious New Wave Tsunami. How are you feeling after the win?
I'm feeling pretty good. I thought I soloed through that game a few times. There was a couple of really bad, panic E's and the whiffed ults, but it ended up working out. We got our big wombo combo off. Didn't matter that we were basically full AD because Malphite can be tanky, but doesn't matter if he's tanky if we murder his whole backline. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I usually only play Yone when I have a bit of substances in my system, is how I would describe it. So I only have muscle memory and no brain power. So I'm glad that we ended up taking the W today.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was some of the fate sealed, if I'm remembering is the ultimate name for Yone correctly. There's some of the fate sealed giveth and some of the fate sealed taketh away a little bit in some of those fights. So I mean you end up with the W, so it's just the LPs on your side. Get to hit them with just mid diff and all chat at the end, and away you go. We'll talk about the mid lane matchup in a second. I do want to start about prepping for this game. So as you say, Yone out in the mid lane. You folks also have the Ornn in the top lane with a little bit of a Ornn hub action here into the rock for the Malphite. I won't give into such childish games as they're getting into on broadcast. How are you feeling about this draft coming into this game? What you're up against?
So with the Yone is we're kind of sister teams with Pandas with Hats. They're like my high school best friends. The only person I didn't know in high school is Think That I Can. But he's really good player. I think he's the best performing jungler in the tournament. He's a huge carry for them. But so going into the draft, we've scrimmed them a decent bit. Valiancy's Yone is a thing that Dr. Schmeckles really hates. He complained to me about it over text after one day, just on a random day. So we knew that they didn't ban the Yone. They hovered the Yone ban and then didn't ban it. So we picked it to be like a flex because it's a mid-top flex. They ended up picking Malphite, and Yone is totally unplayable in the Malphite and decent into Vel'Koz. So we took it to the mid lane. Other than that, Zeri and Jinx were both banned, so we just picked the full wombo combo dive comp with the MF.
Hell yeah. Well, it worked out for you folks. I like the pivot that you folks needed to make. Let's talk about the matchup against the so-called hometown rivals. As we were talking about in the pre-interview, you have a little bit of a rivalry against these folks, specifically Hubes, who is the blue or the Gary Oak.
No, I'm the blue. I'm the blue.
Okay.
I think I'm definitely the blue. He's a sweetheart. He has so much talent, and I'm the shit eater who talks crap when I don't deserve to.
Okay.
That's who I am in this rivalry.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thanks for the correction. I misunderstood you in the break. Nice.
This time, Blue did beat the Elite Four to become champion before Red. I think that's today.
Yo, this is the second round robin, right? This is exactly like that first episode of the Johto series where Ash comes back to Pallet and they have that little fight.
And there's an Umbreon, right? Yeah, exactly.
I think it's Blastoise and then Umbreon or shit, something like that. Yeah, but you get the point. This was your W, but there's always a chance for them to see you on the other side, so to speak, in the playoff bracket. Maybe scrap a little bit more. So looking forward on that note, the second round robin is coming up. This puts you in a good trajectory coming into this. What are your folks' thoughts? What are your thoughts on your team's outlook for this second round robin?
So my team's played a pretty decent bit of other tournament games in just other leagues, and we've always been way better at best of threes than we are at best of ones. I think we have a bit of a tendency to either mental boom or for fun a best of one, and then we usually rein it in the rest of the series. So I'm most worried about making it into playoffs. I think once we make playoffs, we have a pretty decent chance of going deep.